Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The new Leica M6 is out. This week I am at the celebration of photography here at Leica in the Leitz-park, which is an annual event Leica hosts to celebrate photography. But this year, however, I feel like it almost is more of a celebration of film because Leica brought back the iconic Leica M6 exactly 20 years after it was discontinued. The very first Leica M6 was released in 1984, but unlike 1984 by George Orwell, it was not a dystopia, but in fact the start to a very iconic history of a very iconic camera that is still loved and used by many photographers all over the world, even today. If you only want to hear about the new M6 and talk about specs, this year is probably not the right video for you. Instead, this is a documentation of my impressions about this whole event, the things that happened, the people I met and the photos I took, of which the new Leica M6 is only a part of. I am currently at the Leitz-park here in Wetzlar in cooperation with Silvergrain Classics, an analog photo magazine that I'm a guest writer for, who also do workshops with the Silvergrain Classics Academy. And also here we are setting up a workshop in the very imposing Leica Studio, where we have a vintage car, we have makeup artists, we have models, where you can try out the new M6s straight away and also get your images straight away, because we have a whole set of machinery here, so you can develop, scan and also print all your images just like in a 1-hour pop-up lab. Incredible, seriously. That face, awesome.
Is there a justification today for a Leica M film camera? As we will see in a short moment, we have never stopped doing film cameras. But the question is, there is a justification today for a new Leica M film camera? We think there is.
Because it's all about telling a story. Your story.
So what's up with the new Leica M6? Well, honestly, I think if you wouldn't know, you probably wouldn't recognize it at first glance because it looks almost identical to the iconic old M6s. I think the most striking difference is the branding, because it comes with the Leitz branding and not the Leica branding, as an homage to the first Leica cameras that came out. And further, it comes with a different body. So the body will not be out of zinc anymore, but it will be brass. And the other improvements are relatively minor, but I think still important, because we will have less reflections in the viewfinder, it will be improved. And further, the shutter will be made out of different materials for even longer durability. I'm so happy right now. Here it is. It feels really nice, you know, that I've been a Leica M6 user for a really long time. And I have to say that this one, you know, feels very, very smooth. It's just a really nice experience. And one thought I had is that I think it's really nice to be able now to break in, you know, these cameras historically. Because with my Leica M6, I have a very kind of emotional connection to my camera. And just imagining that some other people, you know, have had experiences with this camera before is really nice and really beautiful. But, you know, having a new Leica M6 body out here gives us the chance to be the first person to ever break in the history of this, which I think is really nice. And just holding a new piece of equipment in my hands that is so well crafted is incredible. Well, if you ask me, I do not really care too much about what's new in this camera or how much it will cost. Much more, I think, Leica bringing out a new film camera in 2022 is the statement that really matters for me as a passionate film shooter, because it gives me hope that other camera manufacturers might follow this step. Also, it's a sign that spare parts for Leica M film cameras will exist for longer, securing the repair of our beloved tools.
I'm still trying to put my thoughts together, you know what I mean? I think the simple thing is that like these guys are just doing things for photography's sake. Like they don't give a fuck about, you know, margins and, you know, how many units. It's literally just doing it because they can and they care.
But it's all contagious. It's like the passion of the brand. It's like so obvious when you make a camera that's exactly the same. You don't really change anything but the paint and the leather, and everybody wants it. It's like, when you think about that, it's crazy. It's like, why am I lusting after it?
In addition to the new M6 body, there was also a lens re-release during this event, a new old 35mm Leica Samilux in the steel rim version, which was originally released in 1961. It has a vintage design with an incredibly small form factor, which results in a dreamy, painterly image when shot wide open, and a sharp, punchy image when stepped down.
As it was happening in the past times, it was snapping.
So it fall off.
Very easily. It falls off very easily.
Okay.
Because it was a design. So we supply the camera also with these.
Unlike the rumors, the new M6 will not be a limited edition. A lot of people thought that maybe Leica would only bring out 500 copies, and a lot of criticism about this approach became apparent because people say that, you know, you should make more film cameras to make film more accessible again. But luckily, these rumors are not true. But in fact, the Leica M6 will be just a substantial part of the analog lineup from Leica, accompanying the NP and the MA. Also, the camera will come in black only, the lens will come in silver only, and I don't know about you, I'm more a fan of having like the matching lens to the matching body, but a lot of people like this combination, so let me know your thoughts, what combination you would go for.
We want to see the brass. Can you guys show us the brass?
A little bit of sandpaper and
You
then
should have
then it works.
one distressed one, you know?
We have stressed one, but we only show the new one.
Having 10 of them.
The whole celebration of photography took place over the course of 3 days, where some of the best photographers came together. Apart from the camera and lens reveal, the prestigious Oscar Barnack Award was given out and several events to network were hosted, making it a dream come true for every photographer.
The project is kind of ongoing, but because of Hong Kong in lockdown, so now they're open up.
Yeah.
So I was actually supposed to be there, except because of this project, because of this Bachelor. I'd be in Hong Kong right now shooting this.
Cool. Das ist noch ein absoluter Prototyp. Die habe ich noch per Hand gefertigt und gefüllt. Das ist eine richtige Manufaktur hier. Ja, das ist ganz heiße Ware. Wollen Sie ein Beispiel mitnehmen?
Natürlich super gerne, wenn das
Ja, okay.
Hammer.
Bitte schön.
Vielen, vielen Dank. So this is a new product by Tetinal, which are these C41 developing tabs, which I think is a very, very interesting concept, because you have these dry tablets. So this is like the developing tablet, and you have 2 tablets for the bleach fix, part A and part B, just as you would have with your liquid developers. But the big plus about this is that the shelf life is pretty much unlimited because it's a dry product. And this makes, developing C41 a lot more accessible and a lot more easy, because you don't have to plan along to kind of make 1 liter of developer ready. So I think that's very cool. I got a couple to try out from them, and I will hopefully try to make a video about it in the future.
This one.
They're very cool, the stickers. I have one, an older Land Rover Defender.
Here's a camera right here.
Thank you very much. Little gift for you.
Oh.
Got the VNC logo on the Atomic, and then it has the kind of the Earth timeline.
That is so awesome.
Earth coalescing, and then going through getting water on Earth, going through the whole timeline of history, basically, life on Earth, and then of course film, right?
I need a selfie with you. Awesome! Give me one more smile.
3 photographers were selected beforehand to try out the new old M6, which were Joe Greer.
I am a film photographer based in Franklin, Tennessee. I'm 33 years old, and I've been shooting on my Leica M6 for about 5 years now.
John Seipel from Tokyo Camera Style.
My name is John Seipel, and I'm an American film photographer living in Tokyo.
And also Paul Hepper.
Warum machst du diesen Blödsinn überhaupt? Das war die erste Frage, als meine Mutter erfuhr, dass ich im 21. Jahrhundert noch auf Film fotografiere. Ganz unberechtigt ist diese Frage natürlich nicht.
Which I was fortunate enough to get an interview for the next issue of Silvergrain Classics magazine. So if you are interested to learn more about their first impressions, their experience and their story with this camera, you should definitely check out the next article. And in general, I really recommend you check out Silvergrain Classics, because they're just doing a phenomenal job in keeping film alive, putting all the love into the print, into the research, and just support all things analog. So for the end of the video, I would like to quote a couple of the reasons, like I mentioned, for bringing out this new old camera in 2022, which are respect, mindfulness, and craft. And more than just to the new camera, I think they are applicable to photography in general, most specifically even film photography. And I think the thought alone of, remembering these 3 things, I think are a very good closing word for this event.